Entitled parents can be the worst. I'm your host, Height. Let's see who's been cursed. Our first one is from General Locksmith 512. I, 23 male, had a doctor's appointment earlier today and I took my Switch because I knew I'd be waiting for a while. So I was sitting in the waiting room and after a while, a dad with a little girl, probably 5 or 6 years old, walk in and sit on a couch across the room. A few minutes pass and the little girl gets up and sits on the armchair next to the one I'm sitting, and starts leaning over to watch my game. I was fine with that, because she wasn't doing anything at first, she was just watching. Though I thought it was kinda weird that the dad didn't do anything and just let his daughter sit next to a random guy. Anyway, I didn't do anything, I just kept playing and let her watch. But then she reached out and tried to grab my Switch, so I pulled away and looked at the dad and he was just watching like nothing happened. I'm pretty shy, so interacting with people in awkward scenarios like that is a challenge. But I called him and said, "Hey, your daughter just tried to grab my game. Can you ask her to not do that, please?" And his response was just, "Let her play. What's the problem?" I let my girlfriend's brother play with my stuff all the time, but I don't know this kid, and given her attitude, I couldn't trust that she wouldn't break it or something like that. So I said, no, she can watch, but not play. And bro got mad and said something in the lines of, "You should let her play because she's bored, and you're a grown man, and she's a little kid, so just let her have it." I just said no again and moved to a different seat, and kept ignoring them until the doctor called me in. Bruh, I thought people like this were internet skits. I know if I had a daughter, I damn sure would not let her go be sitting next to random strangers, let alone random men, and getting as close as she did because you never know who the fuck is a crazy that we're sharing the planet with. Definitely sounds like this dad probably uses electronics as the parent rather than being the parent himself. This next one is by Strange Fish Thing. I was with someone I know because I had to respond to a call out about an injured bird that no one could catch. We were unsure if it was going to survive out in the wild. Here comes this kid. We think at first he's curious about us trying to help animals, but then he begins trying to kick the birds. I'm not usually one to talk. The person I know asked politely at first for the son to not kick them, but they get, "No, fuck you," as a response. The dad then says as he smirks, "He can do whatever he wants," and then looks at me because I glanced for a little too long and asked, "What are you gonna do about it?" "You're the parent, do your bloody job." He gets right up close to me and screams in my face, "Say that again!" After the injured bird was found, we both tried to walk away, but then he follows, berating us because we upset his son, even though the son is now doing middle fingers toward both of us. The man bumps into us on purpose, gives us another sideways glance. His son spits on the other person I was with. Update: I've just been made aware from my local Facebook page that this guy was spotted at a national strike protest. I guess that explains why he was so hyped up for a fight. The kid in this story is going to get their ass beat one day, and it's 100% the fault of their father for not teaching them how to just be respectful, especially to strangers you don't fucking know. This next one is from Alone Youth 7608. It's been getting worse for a while now, but I have seen a huge uptick in the past year. I'm not talking about tantrums. I get it's best to ignore those. But like overexcited, overstimulated children just screeching. I rarely hear, "Let's use our inside voices," anymore. Or I'll stare at the parents and they'll smile at me like it's cute and continue encouraging the behavior. I work at a locally owned pet store and this happens so frequently, especially when people take their kids on zoo trips to our store, also known as just looking at everything but never making a purchase. Which I don't care as long as the kids behave, but that's usually not the case. Also, I'm pretty sure the screeching stresses out our animals. It's not normal social behavior, and it should be acknowledged as such to children. I partially blame Bluey. For the record, I love it when well-behaved children come to our store. It's so fun to teach them about the animals. But this is becoming an uncommon occurrence. I think part of this is so many parents are terrified to parent because you have so many non-parents thinking it's so easy to parent, threatening to report parents for disciplining their children or actually being a proper parent. And we wonder why so many kids, teens, etc. nowadays are just so badly behaved. And our final one is by Goddess Viking 86. A few years back at an old gym I worked for, one woman I was training tried asking me could her Girl Scout troop be able to sell cookies at a table she could set up. I told her it's up to my boss, and in my opinion, a gym isn't an ideal place to sell cookies because people are there to work out, not buy cookies, especially if they're trying to watch their weight and sweets intake. The woman asked my boss, who is her cousin, and my boss politely declined. The following week, she sets up a table and has her daughter and 2 scouts, as well as another adult, asking people if they want to buy cookies. One of my coworkers got my boss's attention, and my boss went to talk to his cousin. The two got into the biggest argument, and the woman shouted, "She's entitled because family helps family." My boss comes back inside, and on their way to his office, he gets approached by a woman patron who says she knows the troop council and she'd give her a call. Before long, a representative arrives and asks the people to leave. The gym was not an approved location for selling cookies. The woman tried saying, "The owner of the gym is my cousin. He said it was okay." My boss, who's outside hearing this, tells his cousin, "Again, I didn't give permission to the troop council." The troop representative again tells her pack up and go where they were assigned, or risk being kicked out of the scouts. The woman leaves in a grudge rage and says, "So much for counting on family." Update: I forgot to say that they didn't sell a single box of cookies. All the gym patrons all said no thanks on their own because they were more focused on maintaining their fitness routines over sugary treats. How entitled does this parent have to be to claim that because their family member happens to own a gym, that they're entitled to just do whatever they want, even when that family member told them no? On top of the fact that I really don't understand why she thought it was an intelligent idea to try to sell cookies at a gym in the first place. Alright, that's enough entitlement for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Entitled Parents. If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps new people find my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons and super thanks contributors. Have a great day and stay safe out there.